So it is 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday. Still in Washington, D.C. I just went through and walked by the Lincoln Memorial again, and walked through the Vietnam Memorial Wall, which somehow I walked right past yesterday and didn't even notice that it was there. So that was just a little bit of a mishap yesterday, so I wanted to make sure I covered that. I really feel like I've covered D.C. pretty well today. I think I'm going to go hang out over at the Reflecting Pond for a couple of minutes here, just kind of chill, and I think I'm going to start heading out of D.C. Only been here not even 24 hours yet, but I'm not kidding when I say that I walked the whole city yesterday. I'm still exhausted from that, and feeling a little bit tired today. Didn't sleep all that great last night. That parking garage spot, while safe and secure and comfortable, definitely had a few incidents. Specifically, one in particular last night was one of the maintenance guys actually came over to check out my vehicle. So he went up to look up to the front there, and I watched him do the whole thing. But not once did he actually indicate that he saw me inside, which is pretty impressive because he was coming and looking right into the front windshield, I guess, to make sure that I had a parking ticket there, and just kind of did a glance around the sides and everything. And I think if he would have seen me, he would have actually had some kind of reaction or indication that he did, but nothing. So, but that was a little bit awkward. That was at like 5 a.m. The parking lot and garage around me started to fill up around 7:30 or so with students going to the college. So I kind of woke up around 7:30ish and then tried to go back to sleep for a little while again, but was not all that successful. So it was mainly just kind of laying there for a little while. All in all, I probably got about 4 hours of sleep. Not great. I was really hoping this spot would have been better. And especially just the never-ending challenge of just finding a restroom here. It's impossible. Now, it's regular daytime hours right now, so all the tourist attractions and visitor centers and all that are currently open, so right now is probably not difficult to find something, but last night it was a hell of a challenge. And so I think I'm just over DC now. It's pretty challenging to do the stealth camping here. There's just a lot of complications. So I think I'm gonna head over to the Reflecting Pond for a little bit. Then I'm gonna walk to the car, and I'm gonna get the hell out of DC and find a little bit less populated area. So it is now 3:34 on Tuesday, and I've actually just spent the past couple of hours. I got breakfast, lunch, brunch, whatever you want to call it, at Bob Evans, which was terrible. I was really disappointed. I thought I remembered Bob Evans being a good place back in the day, but the eggs were the type of eggs you get at McDonald's, and they're not actual eggs that they crack open everything there at the restaurant, but instead it comes to them in a big thing of already broken up eggs. And so the eggs were terrible. The bacon was okay, but bacon's always okay. The hash browns were absolutely tasteless. So yeah, that was actually a pretty horrible experience. I don't think I'm going to go back to a Bob Evans again. But anyway, I ate breakfast, and so I finally got some solid food in my stomach, but I was still feeling pretty terrible. Had a horrible headache all morning. So I decided to just kind of chill for a couple of hours there in the parking lot. I actually took a nap after popping one of my pain meds for my headache. And so I got a good probably 2-hour nap, and I'm feeling much, much better now. So I'm back on the road on 95 South, heading toward Richmond right now, and probably going to do a good stint of driving for the rest of the day today, because I definitely want to make sure that I'm home tomorrow, and I don't really have any particular destination in mind or anything between today and tomorrow other than getting home. So if I see something on the side of the road today, I'm definitely willing to stop somewhere, and I'll have to find a place at some point to crash for tonight. I'm So I am now in North Carolina and ran into a little bit of an unexpected surprise while driving down 95. I got a warning about the tire pressure in my front right tire. So for the first time ever, I'm actually going to try to use the air compressor in my portable battery pack to go through and pump up the air in this tire. This is basically kind of the reason that I have this portable jump starter, air compressor pack thing. It's also could be used as a battery, so it's kind of my last resort battery to use for devices and things if I needed to. But I try not to do that just because it's very possible that I actually need to use it for what it's intended for, and that's for situations like this. So I'm gonna give this thing a shot, see if I can pump up the air in this tire, and hopefully get back on the road in just a few minutes. Alright, so I am back on I-95 going south again. Just got out of the rest stop, and my teeth are actually still chattering a little bit. It is 61 degrees out and raining, not really hard, but hard enough that I got a little bit wet at the rest stop there. But got a quick chance to use the restroom real quick, refill the air in my tire, so that is not going to be a concern anymore. So let's see what my options are here. For some reason I have such a hard time finding the tire pressure option. Well, I'll look for it later, but anyway, the alarm that was coming up at least and telling me that my tire pressure was low is gone now. So with my little portable compressor, battery pack, jump starter dealie that I've had for several years now, that I got at Harbor Freight, that thing's still going great. And of course now, really? So I just literally just now got an alert for my driver's side front tire being low. So I think it's a temperature thing, which would make sense, because I came from Florida, 90 degrees, and I'm down into the low 60s now. So I'm not going to worry about it terribly here. I'm not going to stop again, since I literally just stopped to take care of it. But what I will do is keep going on 95 south, and I'm thinking I'm definitely going to stop at south of the border. I've been there once before, at least as a kid. It was one of the stops that my friend Armin recommended that I stop at on the way. I know it's pretty much a well-known area for tourists and things like that. But I'm going to stop there and see if there's anything interesting to do. And I'm sure that there will probably be a Walmart there, because there are Walmarts everywhere. And if I can find a good spot, that is probably where I will end up spending the night tonight. As it stands right now, I have about 8 hours of driving according to Google/Waze. So still a good amount of driving that I'm going to have to do tomorrow. There's really no avoiding that. I got a little bit sidetracked and late to things because, for whatever reason, I went to Atlanta. And that was a significantly longer drive, and I spent some time just going around into the city in Atlanta there, spent the night there, and then the worst part about having gone to Atlanta before DC is that I got stuck on all of these roads with like a 55 or 60 mile an hour speed limit. So my entire drive that I've had on 95, which I've been on for most of the way since Virginia, is 70 the whole way. So not only is it more of a kind of a straight line, but it is also much faster, and there's hardly any cars on the road compared to what I was dealing with in the traffic to DC. I was constantly dodging cars there in low speed conditions. The only thing that is worse in the conditions right now is the weather, but it's not bad at all. It's visibility is still good, and it's not raining terribly bad. It's definitely chilly out, no question about that. So I'm going to continue doing 95 south here, because I'm making really good a really good pace right now. So I'm going to keep going till I get to south of the border, and then I'll stop there and see what I see. And that's as as much of the plan as I have for right now. Tomorrow definitely is my going home day. So that's going to be 95 south to McClenny, and then really once I get to that point, I'm kind of already home. I know that whole area very well. So I think that part of the drive is actually, at least feel like it is takes much less time compared to these drives here of unknown territory and all that, just because I've done that drive so many times. But it's still going to be a lot of driving I have to do tomorrow. So every bit of distance I can cover today, I don't have to worry about tomorrow. And just knowing that I have to work Thursday morning is kind of bringing back a little bit of like the stress and hustle and bustle that this vacation was taking me away from. So as I get closer to home, all of that is kind of coming back. But really it's because it's getting closer to me having to go back to the real world again. So part of me is looking forward to getting home, and I'm a little bit homesick. It'd be nice to actually sleep in a big full-size bed again, of course. I don't mind my little mattress setup here. It is actually very comfortable. Assuming good conditions for temperature, noise, and everything else, I can actually sleep on this mattress just fine. I mean, no different than I really do in my own bed at home. It's kind of what's so incredible about this setup. What blows my mind about it. But I'm looking forward to getting home and seeing my cats again. Kind of funny that last night I popped into my camera at home that I have facing their food dishes, and just happened to actually catch both of them on camera right there. So I know that they're both okay. This is the longest time that they've actually been by themselves since I actually got them going. I guess it's only been about a year and a half now. They're very well behaved. They might have one or two messes in the house from them knocking something over or getting into something they shouldn't, or just other pet messes. But they have their automatic cat litter things. They have their automatic feeder. They have a huge thing of water. So they're set really as far as their needs go. But this is the longest time that they've ever been by themselves. So I'm curious to see how they are behaving after when I get home tomorrow from this trip. And then just being able to look, have a bathroom to myself and a real living space again. I already found that I absolutely love doing this here, but I think that's, and this is something I was considering before, there needs to be kind of a respite time on a trip like this. So I did Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, and now I'll be doing tonight in sleeping in the car. So what I think I'm going to do on future trips on this is take that middle night, which in my case, let's see, Atlanta was night 1, and then night 2 was whatever. Basically, the middle night of the week, I think, it should be a night of actually just booking a cheap hotel. It doesn't have to be fancy or anything. I mean, it's certainly going to be much more fancy than sleeping in the car, but that way it is guaranteed access to a shower, guaranteed safe spots, as much electric is needed, so a full recharge on all battery packs, electronics, everything else, hopefully Wi-Fi for uploading. One challenge that I have had on this trip here is finding decent Wi-Fi hotspots. That's something I mentioned in an earlier diary episode. I go to places, they have Wi-Fi, but it's either terrible, like terribly slow, or they don't know the password for it, or it just simply doesn't work at all. So most of the data I've actually used on this trip is coming from my new Visible wireless phone, which is just running a hotspot 24 hours a day. Only allows one device to connect to it, and I think I kind of like that restriction because of the limited bandwidth that it has. There's ways to get around it, but I'm really not worried about it. But I've been using that as a constant hotspot, so when I'm basically in the car, I have my phone connected to it so it can upload some of my videos, pictures, and things like that to the cloud, so that I can free up space on my phone so that I can take more pictures and do more video, because I keep running out of space. So
So that is a pretty slow connection though, so I was hoping to be able to find some better high-speed wireless hotspot areas to do much faster uploads, but that just simply hasn't been the case. So that has been a challenge. The hotspot thing has at least helped with that. But with a hotel, I would have, hopefully good working Wi-Fi that I'd be at for a significant period of time. So even if it wasn't the fastest, I'm sure it'd be faster than the visible on the wireless. So that I could just have it upload overnight and be fresh and good to go the next day. So, and that also leads into I definitely need to get a real camera. I've gotten into going through and doing this and kind of developed just a habit, I guess you could say, of a good time to do it when significant things on the trip happen, or just things I want to remember, or interesting moments such as damn tire pressure. So I'm kind of getting into like the actual documenting of the trip and the process and everything else. So to really do it properly, I'm going to need a real camera for it. So this will definitely be the last time I try to just do all this on my Pixel 3 XL. Having to switch between navigation and photos and video and loading it in and out of the selfie stick thing, which I love the little selfie stick, but having to put it in there every single time is too much work. So camera will be on the buy list coming up soon. I don't know what I'll get there, but it'll be something that'll be easier to use than a phone. So I-95 South, continuing to south of the border, and we'll see what we see.